Hello everyone, welcome back to All Financial Discussion channel. For this video, I'd like to continue the series of discussion on CPF. Earlier on, I have discussed how those who is actually age 55 and below, how to compute your CPF interest. This video, I will concentrate on CPF members that are actually above 55 years old, how to compute your CPF interest. So in general, okay, whatever that you earn between age 55 and 65, your interest, okay, basically they are still technically yours. However, okay, once you turn to 65, or maybe if you defer to age 70, or in short, when you actually join CPF Life, the interest that you earn become part of the longevity risk pool. So this video, I will show it to you step by step how to compute your CPF interest for CPF member that is actually age 55 and above. A lot of us actually has this misconcept. Once we actually reach the age 55, once we chosen our retirement sum, our RA account will not be able to earn any CPF interest anymore. This is totally wrong. When we are actually at the age of 55 to 65, okay, so our RA account will still continue to earn CPF interest. And in fact, when we are actually at this range, 55 to 65, the interest that we earn still technically belong to us. And this will in fact increase our retirement saving. For some, okay, they actually prefer to delay the CPF life to age 70. Okay, so once you actually delay your CPF life, your RA balance will in fact grow even larger because of the more accumulate interest. Once you have joined this CPF life, once you are able to receive a money payout, typically from age 65, like I mentioned earlier on, for some actually at age 70, okay, your RA saving are in fact used to buy into CPF life scheme. Okay, so basically this CPF life is a pool longevity insurance scheme. Okay, so this simply means that CPF members' premiums are pooled so that everyone who live a longer time can continue receiving the money payout for life. Let me use this diagram to illustrate. Basically, this is my RA account. So once I decided to start the CPF life, either at the age 65 or I delay at the age of 70, I in fact will pour my RA into this CPF life. As long as I'm alive, every month, okay, I will be able to collect a money payout from CPF life. Just imagine this. Some probably will live longer, some will live shorter. The interest that we earn from the CPF life, okay, basically these are used for people that actually live a longer time, okay, because they live longer, and with the interest, this actually guarantee that they are able to receive the money payout for life. So basically, this is why our CPF interest that we actually earn from the age 65 onward, we don't actually own the interest anymore. This actually, in fact, belongs to the CPF life, and this interest that we earn after age 65, they actually provide a longevity insurance scheme for those who live a longer life and they are able to continue to receive a money payout. Let me quickly go through the discussion on CPF base interest rate. Okay, so in fact, I have done this earlier on. So from this table here, you can see that this base interest is in fact guaranteed by Singapore government. So over here, you can see that OA basically earn the least base interest of 2.5% per annum. The rest, SA, MA, and RA, they in fact can earn a base interest of 4% per annum. From this diagram here, you can also further see that CPF interest rate is basically separate into two tiers. One is for member that is actually below the age of 55. On the other side is basically for member that is actually above 55 years old. So for people that is actually below 55 years old, I have discussed this at my previous video. While over this video, I would like to concentrate the discussion for members that is actually above 55 years old. So from here, you can see that they are able to enjoy a further 2% or a further 1% with some condition, which I'm going to illustrate on my next few slides. This is what I have discussed on my previous video. These are for members that is actually age 55 and below. The base interest, they are actually quite easy to compute. This video, like I mentioned earlier on, I like to concentrate on the additional. Let's say for this case here, for member age 55 and below, they are able to enjoy another additional 1%. So where this additional 1% can park, they must come from, firstly, from OA, and OA only can enjoy the maximum of 20K. After that will be followed by SA, and then move to MA. So this is actually the sequence from OA maximum up to 20K, after that to SA, and then to MA. So if you can see my previous video to understand this better. Like I mentioned earlier on, this video, I'm going to concentrate on member that is actually age 55 and above. And again, I like to emphasize the additional interest that we are able to earn. So over here, you can see that we are able to earn an additional of 2% or 1%. So the sequence is basically different as compared to member that is actually age 55 and below. For members that is actually age 55 and above, instead of OA, okay, the first one will be RA. Okay, so basically this is the first one on the RA account, followed by the OA, and again, OA is kept at 20K, followed by MA, okay, which is the MediSave account. Later on, I will have example to illustrate this more clearly. So this is what I mentioned earlier on. For age 55 and above, the first extra interest, okay, they firstly will go to RA first. After that will be OA, and again, OA will be kept at 20K. After that will be MA. Okay, so like I mentioned earlier on, an example will clearly illustrate all this rather than by words. Let me do the base interest rate calculation first. Keep this in mind. We are doing for CPF member that is actually after 55 years old. So this will be scenario number one. Let's say that he actually has this account in the CPF. Under OA, he has 60K. Under RA, he has 40K. While in his MA, he actually has 10K. So basically, the calculation of base interest is actually quite straightforward. So this is actually the base interest for the different account. Since after 55, there is no longer having SA account. So basically, instead of SA, this CPF member actually has RA account. So for RA, okay, the base interest will be also 4%. So how to compute all this base interest? For OA, for this particular case, for this CPF member, he actually has 60K. So for the base interest for OA, which is 2.5%, so if you take this 2.5% for this 60K, you can see that he can actually earn 1.5K per annum. Keep this in mind because CPF compute the interest rate in the money basis. So therefore, we need to do a divide by 12. So basically, in this month, this amount, 125, will be given to this CPF member to his OA account. Same for RA and MA. So basically for RA, the balance inside his account will be 40K. For RA, the base interest will be 4%. So if we are going to do this 4% onto 40K, this will allow us to earn an interest of 1.6K in an annual basis. However, like I mentioned earlier on, we are doing this for money. So therefore, we need to do a divide by 12. So therefore, at this month, okay, so basically this member under his RA account, he will be able to earn 133.33, and this amount, interest that earned, will credit to his RA account. Last but not least, for MA, okay, this member actually has 10K, will be the same base interest with the RA. So basically with the calculation, you can see that this member will be able to earn $400 in a year. Like I mentioned earlier on, this is money, so therefore I need to do a divide by 12. So basically from here, you can compute that this amount, 33.33, will be credited to this member MA account. So basically, these are all the interest that they actually earn, okay, for this particular month. So basically, if you add them all up, the total interest that is earned by this 110K in his respective account in the CPF will earn him 291.60 interest. The compute of base interest rate for CPF is actually quite straightforward. The challenge will be the extra interest. So basically, this is for member that is actually after age 55. So if you're still able to recall, I mentioned that for CPF, they will pay additional 2% on the first 30K of combined CPF balance. Basically, for OA, they need to be kept at 20K. And for the next 30K, they are able to enjoy another additional 1%. And again, the same rule apply. OA only has maximum 20K. For member that is actually after 55 years old, the extra interest is actually computed in this order. The first one will be RA, followed by OA, and this OA maximum will be only at 20K. After that will be MA. For this case here, okay, let's say this member actually has RA of 40K. So therefore, the extra 2% won't come from OA because RA, in fact, has more than the first 30K. So for this particular case, the first 2% will be purely on the RA, nothing from the OA. Let me work out on the extra interest rate. So for members that is actually after 55 years old, there are actually two tiers of additional interest, both 2% and also 1%. So how to compute for the first extra 2%? Okay, so for this CPF member, okay, since for him, for the first 30K, basically they will be covered by the RA because in the sequence of additional interest rate, the first one will be RA. And since for this member, he actually has 40K, which is more than the 30K. So basically, this actually allowed this extra 2% fully covered by RA, like I mentioned earlier on. And then after that, the remaining 10K, in fact, will be covered by the extra 1% of the interest. So therefore, we need to compute the 30K, which is from the RA account, and they actually addition 2% of interest. So if you get this 2% multiplied by 30K, this earn you an interest of 600 in a year. So therefore, I need to divide by 12. And therefore, in this particular month, for this extra 2% interest rate, I will be able to earn another additional of $50. So this $50 will credit to the CPF member RA account. Next, let me work out on the extra 1% of interest rate. So basically, it will be the next 30K. So basically, for this member, he actually has 40K. So there will be another addition of 10K from the RA. And then after that, OA will be maximum 20K. So for this, it is just nice total 30K, which form the next 30K of the extra 1% interest rate. So therefore, how to compute? So this 10K is actually from the RA and is able to enjoy another addition of 1% of interest rate. So if you calculate, okay, this allowed to earn another additional $100 per year. So basically, this is for per month. So therefore, I divide by 12. And then basically, this 10K from RA, which enjoy another additional 1% interest rate, will earn $8.33 at this particular month. And this amount of money will be credited to the RA account of the CPF member. Next, we still have this 20K from the OA. So basically, again, it will also enjoy the additional 1%. So basically, 1% of 20K will be $200. This is in a year. So again, I need to do a divide by 12. So in total, okay, the interest that you earn from that particular month from the OA, which has 20K, with the additional of 1% interest rate, will earn the interest additional of 16.67. But for this case here, instead, the additional interest won't deposit into the OA account. For this case here, you can see that it will be deposit into RA account. Let me do a conclusion based on the scenario 1 case study. So this will be the amount that is actually inside his CPF account. And then basically this will be the base interest which I have shown it to you earlier on. So in short, with the total amount of 110K in the CPF account, this allowed this member to earn 291.60 per month. These are the additional interests which I have shown it to you just now. So basically, I just want to do a quick conclusion. This is the amount that is actually in the account for this CPF member. So after include the interest that they earn in that particular month, basically the account will slightly increase. For OA, basically you can see that $125 will be credited to the OA account. So therefore for OA, it increased from 60K to 60.125K. Next will be the retirement account. Okay, initially, it has 40K. But over here, you can see that this amount, 133.33, and also $50 and 8.33, and also 16.67, all this amount will credit into the RA. This total amount will be 241.66. So therefore, from here, you can see that this RA account will earn another additional of 241.66. Last but not least, on the MA, so basically for MA, it is not able to earn additional interest from the 2% and also from the 1%. But over here, you can see that they are actually able to earn from the base interest, which is 4% for this 10K. So basically, earlier on, I have computed that this will earn an additional of 33.33 interest. So this amount will credit to MA. So therefore, you can see that this 33.33 is the interest that you earn from the base interest for the MA. A quick disclaimer, I am not a licensed financial advice. This video is for entertainment and education purpose only and should not be considered financial advice. Please conduct your own independent research and consult a professional if needed. Never invest more than you are willing to lose. With this, let's continue the discussion. But before, I would like to urge you guys to help me by like this video. When more of you guys actually help me to like this video will have a better chances to reach out to a larger audience. So guys, help me press the like button now. For those who are new to this channel, and if you have learned something from this video, hope you can support me by subscribing to this channel and turn on your notification bell. Once again, thank you so much for strong support. Next example, scenario 2. Basically, this CPF member has much lesser money inside his account. So basically, he actually has OA 10K, RA 20K, and MA 10K. So these are the base interest. So from here, you can see that the base interest won't change regardless on the amount that is actually in your account. So these are the base interest. And then based on what I have described earlier on, you can compute that these are the respective base interest that you can earn from the OA, from the RA, and also from the MA. For the base interest, whatever money that you earn from the interest, they are all credit back into the respective account, as you can see from here. The challenge to compute your CPF interest rate will be always on the extra interest rate. So this is actually for member after 55 years old. So basically, again, there are actually two tiers. One will be able to enjoy 2%, but they are actually capped on the first 30K. For this CPF member, you can see that the RA account only has 20K. So only this 20K will go to the extra 2%. And another category will be to the OA, and OA will be kept at 20K. So for this case here, OA actually has only 10K. So from here, you can see that both the RA and OA will credit the additional 2%, as I will show you how to compute later on. Next will be the extra 1%. So this is actually for the next 30K. For this CPF member, okay, basically you can see that what left over that can earn additional interest will be the MA account. So this 10K will be able to enjoy another additional 1%. So basically this is the sequence. Once the CPF member is after 55 years old, the first one that earn the extra interest will be the RA account, followed by the OA account with the maximum cap of 20K. Next will be the MA account. Let's come to the number, how to compute the CPF interest. Let me show it to you how you can actually compute the extra 2% and also extra 1% of interest rate. Let's come to the extra 2% first. So basically, the first 30K will be from RA, 20K, and OA, 10K. So you can compute this 2% from 20K from RA. This will allow you to earn $400 per year. Keep this in mind. We are doing for money, so therefore we need to divide by 12. So this will be the amount that you can earn in a money basis from the 20K from the OA, enjoying the additional of 2%. Next will be the OA. For OA, basically this time round, although it actually kept at 20K, but we are only limit to this 10K. Firstly, is because the first 30K. Also, another condition is because the member actually has only 10K inside his OA. So again, we can compute the 2% of this 10K. This will earn the member $200 for per year. But again, like I emphasize, this is for money. Since CPF compute the interest rate in a money basis, this will allow 16.67 earn from the OA account. Again, although it's actually from the OA account, but from here you can see that the interest, additional interest, won't credit to the OA account. So instead of OA, the interest that you earn, 16.67, will credit to the RA account. Next will be the additional 1%. So this will be the next 30K. However, okay, because of the limitation of fund for this particular CPF member, okay, on the next 1%, he actually only left 10K from the MA. So this 10K from the MA will compute the interest. Again, 1% okay, from 10K will be equals to $100. So this will be the additional 1% interest rate that this CPF member will earn. And then I need to do a divide by 12 to get a money amount. So this 8.33 will be the money amount that will be credited into the MA account. So let me do a quick conclusion. This is the base interest which I have showed to you earlier on. And then just now I show how to compute the extra 2% and also the extra 1%. Let me do a quick summarize based on this CPF member. Initially, he has this amount inside the respective account. But over here, you can see that the OA actually earned a base interest of 20.83, as you can see from here. So this amount technically will credit into the OA account after the end of the year. So basically, after 1 month, okay, you can see that the OA actually grow from 10K to 10K and then with $20.83. So basically, this is for the OA account. Same for RA. So initially, he has 20K, but for RA, okay, more actually will credit. From here, you can see that this amount will credit to RA. Another additional interest that you earn from OA, okay, also will credit to RA. So these two amounts will add up together. So in short, for RA, interest is basically 66.67 plus 33.33 plus this 16.67. This will earn 116.67. So basically, you can see that a key difference between RA account. So this will be the interest that this CPF member will be able to earn. Next will be the MA account. For MA account, is slightly different as compared to the scenario 1. So beside this 33.33, okay, this member also enjoy this additional 1% from the MA. For MA, okay, the interest that you earn will also credit to the MA account. So therefore, for this particular case, for this member, okay, you can see that MA from 10K, okay, actually increased to 10 okay, 041.66. So basically, this is the scenario 2. Okay, so basically, you can see from here, scenario 2 actually has lesser fund in his account. So therefore, he is not able to fully utilize the additional 2% and also the additional 1%. With this, I'd like to end my discussion. Please help me to like this video and subscribe to this channel. Once again, thank you so much for strong support. I hope to see you guys soon. Bye for now.